All right, folks, we're back for game two. Morphy's got the white pieces. James Thompson's got the black pieces. All right, Morphy plays E4. All right, Morphy was an E4 player. He loved open games, lots of violence, lots of attacks. All right. What does Thompson throw as his defense? He throws the Sicilian defense at Morphy. Can you believe it, folks? 1857. Yeah, the Sicilian was in vogue. All right, the knights come out, folks. Morphy, standard procedure with D4, and they trade the pawns, all right? Black trades a wing pawn for this one of white central pawns. All right, here we go. All right, so now after Morphy takes back, what version of the Sicilian defense is Thompson gonna play, huh? All right, I don't even know the name of this one. It's with the E6 variation. Folks, does it really matter what name it is? You know, just get your pieces out to good squares and go to war, all right? You got to get your soldiers out. That's the bottom line, all right? That's what the opening's about. All right, here we go. And controlling that center, like I said, all right. All right, so here we go. Morphy defends that D4 knight in the center. Centralized knight there. All right, bishop E3 supports it. All right, here we go. Thompson brings his king bishop to E7. All right, he develops it. Okay. Morphy with knight to C3. Develop them pieces, kids. It's a war's raging. Come on, get your soldiers into battle. All right, now here you go. Look at this. Thompson should do the same, right? Likewise, he should bring another soldier into the battle. He should bring this knight up here. That's the natural square, F6, right? Then castle his king, next move. All right, but Thompson doesn't do that. Nope. What does Thompson do? All right. H6, folks. I don't know. The book right here? Question mark. I don't know. 150 years later, we're still trying to figure that one out. All right? All right, but it's a game. Okay, what are you going to do? Let's see how Morphy handles it. He handles it by developing another piece. Bishop D3, baby. Get them pieces out. 4 pieces for Morphy. All right? So now what? Now what goes on? Look at this. All right, get the knight out now. Come on, right, Thompson? Natural move. Natural move. Get that knight out. That's where it wants to go. Where else is it going to go, huh? Right there. Yeah, it's a no-brainer, right? But Thompson doesn't do that. Nope. What does he do, folks? I'll show you. Look at this. D5! D5 now, folks. Oh, boy. I don't know, the old masters, all right? Another question mark here. It says right here in the notes, drops a pawn, huh? How about that? Drops a pawn. All right, let's look at it. Let's see how that happens, all right? All right, Morphy pins the knight on C6, okay? Look at this already, folks. Look, he's threatening. Let's just say, look, let's say Morphy brings the knight out now, right? Oh, boy. Stay late, dollar short. Look at this. Knight takes, okay? And there's no fancy in-between nonsense, bishop D7, or you hit the bishop, because, look, folks, the black queen's hanging, right? All right, so you got to take this knight. You got to take it off the board. Lo and behold, bishop takes, check. And once you see what happens, folks, you lost the exchange, folks. You lost the exchange, all right? You can't play chess like this. Look, you can't play chess like this against your nephew, let alone Morphy. Come on, he's only the best player of the times, you know? Come on, you can't do this, all right? All right, now look, Thompson doesn't do this, all right? He's in the American Chess Congress, like I said, the best players at the time, all right? So give him a little credit. Come on, he doesn't do this knight F6 now. He sees the threat, all right? So naturally, what would you do, folks? All right, you break that pin. Thompson brings the bishop to D7, right? Now get a load of this real quick just to note, all right? A little note here. The masters even say queen at D7 would hold the pawn, all right? But who in their right mind would put their queen on the same diagonal as the enemy bishop, let alone your king right there, you know? Who's going to walk into that, what, to save a pawn? Come on, you got to... Now look, all right. I don't know if you remember me mentioning game one. If you haven't seen the excitement of game one, I advise you tune into it, all right? What a battle, all right. But anyway, in that game, I also noticed, you know, my computer, Shredder, right? playing things that a human would never play. All right? So I wanted to test this out. I said, this can't be right. Can it be right? All right, so anyway, get this. Look at this, folks. I couldn't believe it, you know. I played this, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't bust through. I could not break through. Shredder's something else. I'll tell you, it's like you're playing at 2600. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe your masters, they'll figure it out. They'll crack that nut, you know what I'm saying? But this, oh, forget it. A computer like this, no one in their right mind's going to play like this. I couldn't break through, though, against Shredder. So those old masters, you know, they said it back in the day, folks. You know, no computers back in 1857. So maybe they worked it out, too. They played around with it. Maybe you want to take that as like a homework assignment, you know. But, I mean, in all honesty, folks, you know, you can't blame Thompson. He plays the natural move. I mean, you break the pin with the bishop, all right? All right, so let's take it from here, all right? Like the master said, okay, this drops a pawn, okay? Because after pawn takes back, all right, knight takes. Look at that. You lost the pawn, all right? Thompson's down a pawn already, okay, against Morphy. All right, let's see how Morphy can prove it, right? He's got to prove it. All right, so now Thompson brings the knight out. Oh, okay, day late, dollar short, right? All right, and Morphy snatches it right off the bat. Check. All right, Thompson takes back. All right. All right, so now what, folks? Look at this. You gotta be alert all the time. You can't go to sleep in this game. I'll tell you, folks. I play games where you play 60 moves. You know, I'm playing a great game. And then all of a sudden, I just go to sleep. I'm thinking of something else. Who knows? I'm tired. And then all the next thing you know, you make one lousy move, or you throw all your work right in the garbage. You throw it all. You blow the game, you know? So that's how this game of chess is. I mean, maybe that's why we love it, right? It's got so much to it. And here you go. I want to show you. Now, in this position, Morphy plays c3, all right? He solidifies that knight once again. He got the bishop supporting that centralized knight on d4. Now he puts the pawn up. But look at this, folks. Look at this. I got to show you. You're going to flip. Oh, yeah, all right. Morphy won a pawn, right? White's up a pawn. Now, all of a sudden, you go to sleep. Let's say you do something stupid. Let me just throw in a stupid move like this for whatever reason, right? Just to show you what could be lurking if you fall asleep, right? All right, folks, look at this. Look at this. Bishop takes knight, right? All right, no big deal. I'll just take back. All right, but look at this now. Queen check. All right, you blocked the check. You just dropped the piece. You just lost the piece, folks. Did you see it? Look. I'll show it again. It's slow motion. It's the replay, right? Slow motion. Look at this. Look at this. You see this? Now, you got the bishop taking out the knight, all right? Now, that knight was the piece defending the bishop, the white bishop on b5. So even though you take back, you see now that bishop on b5's hanging. See that? Boom, boom, you just lost the piece, all right? Could go that fast. I mean, heck, you could even do it this way. Look at this. Look at this. I'll show you another way, all right? Let's say the knight takes, all right? Knight takes. All right. So now you see the knight just took out the white knight on d4. So if I take back here, all right, now he loses it this way, all right? So what do you got to do? In this case, right away, you got, all right, I got an in-between move. I got the check, right? I got to take with check to avoid losing that bishop. And now look at this. He takes back with the queen. Now I take this, right? Take this, all right, he takes. Look at that. Hey, folks, what happened to my minor pieces? He's still got one over there on f6, right? Hey, what happened to me? See how quick you blink, folks. You fall asleep. This game of chess, you not only got to come up with good moves, be creative, you got to be consistent, folks. Every move. Look, put it this way. It's the old saying. When you find a good move, stop and look for a better one. All right? And always double check your move. All right? Because you can miss it. You can miss it. All right? Now, look, folks, Morphy. All right? We're talking Morphy. All right. He plays c3. All right? Enough of this nonsense. Don't even think about it, Thompson. All right? All right, I didn't come here from New Orleans to get caught in a little trap, all right? Please, give me some credit. All right, so, Morphy avoids all the nonsense with C3. Look at this. He solidifies the knight, all right? He keeps that queen check, out of the game. All right, here we go. All right, so now what goes on now? All right, so look at this. Thompson jumps the king into the corner castle. Sensible move. Get that king to safety, kids. You got a wall raging out here. There's pieces flying around. All right, what does Morphy do? He knows the deal. 1857. Come on. He knew what was going on. He castles likewise. All right, so now they're castled. All right, what does Thompson do? All right, he continues to develop. He develops the queen to C7. All right, off the back rank. Link up them rooks, all right? Now the rooks are ready to get in the game. Morphy does the same. He develops the queen to A4, all right? He's putting pressure on that knight on C6, all right? For instance, just to show you an example, if they just trade down like this, let's say, okay? They trade down, boom, boom, boom. Look at this black at the end of it all. He has to take back with the pawn, and now look at those two pawns, folks. A7 and C6, you got those two pawns separated, and as you know, like in game one, when I said the pawns get busted up like that, they can't protect one another, okay? Pawns like to be side by side so they could kind of defend one another as the game goes, all right? So like two pawns like this are vulnerable. You could lose the end game in a scenario like this. Who knows? I mean, it's a weakness, right? Black's got a weakness. Plus, he's down a pawn, folks. A pawn is a pawn, all right, as they say. Well, white doesn't have these weaknesses. You know what I mean? So who's got the edge here? Oh, okay, white, right? He's up a pawn. Black's got some pawn weaknesses, all right? Who knows where it goes? You got to prove it, right? But look, that's just the idea what's being threatened, okay? So now Thompson doesn't do this king H8. Come on, I'm just showing you what some strategic points, what could be threatened, all right? So now, what does Thompson do, all right? Morphy's last move, right? Queen to A4, all right. Thompson takes that open file, baby. I told you, link up them rooks. They're on the back rank, linked together. Now they're going to get in the game. Open files for the rooks, you get it? Look at this one. Look at here it comes. Open file for Morphy, the D file. All right, the knight's on that file, but it's still no pawns, all right? It's an open file, okay? Get them rooks to the open files, all right. Now look at this. That was a strategic, both moves. The two rooks, strategic moves, okay? Very solid. All right, now Morphy's move has a little sting to it, too. It's got a little trap, all right? Now get a load of this. Again, let me throw in a dumb move. Here you go. Just throw the king to the side, all right? Look at this. Wow, what a waste of time. All right, now watch. I'm going to just show you this. Move that king over there to H8 just to be able to show you what's being threatened, right? Look at this shot, folks. Knight takes knight, all right? Now, if they trade like this, it's like I said, all right? Just like before, you got the pawn weaknesses. Those two black pawns all alone. It's a lonely world on the chessboard for these pawns. They get separated like that, all right? It's a cruel, evil place. All right, so what that's if after knight takes, all right, if he takes with the bishop. So let's say black, he wants to keep the pieces on the board. He's got to try to still fight this out, right? So he takes back with the pawn, all right? Now look at this, folks. Did you see it? Look at this shot. No, you don't take the pawn with the bishop. Come on, dummy up. Look at this, folks. Rook on the open file. Sacking the exchange. Get a load of this. Queen takes. Now you take on C6. Look at this skewer and the queen and the rook on E8. Look at this, folks. All right, the queen moves. You take that exchange back, all right? And just, let's see like this. You just take, look, you drop the pawn there, all right? So, folks, look, all right, let's trade. Let's go a little deeper. Look at this. This is funny. Look at this. All right, so you get the pawn over there, right? Look at this. You get attacked. All right, you get attacked right there. All right, you move the bishop, all right? Holy smokes. He got the pawn back on A2, huh? But look at this, folks. You trapped it, right? You trapped that rook. How about that? Wait a minute. Here you go. The head's going to spin. Look at this. Bishop sacking on C3. Holy smokes, folks, the game of chess, huh? Send your head for a loop. Look at this. All right, see, all right, you're up a pawn, right? But I'll tell you, folks, rook and pawn endgames, they're the toughest to prove. I'll tell you, watch the masters with these. That's beauty, poetry in motion, folks. Grandmasters with these rook and pawn endgames. You could study rook and pawn games. You know, you could just study that alone for years. All right? So many different variables and things that go on in a rook and pawn endgame. But to reiterate, folks, look at this. Okay, here's the shot. You take, right? Queen takes, bishop. Queen moves, all right? You take back. I mean, heck, if you take back like this, same idea, you know, you're just kind of transposing. Now, look, right here. Let's just take it from here, right? Or you don't even grab the a7 pawn. Folks, white's up 2 pawns. Come on. Forget about it. This should be an easy win. You're up 2 pawns. All right, you want to get greedy again. Let's see this. Let's insta replay it, right? We got here in a different way, transpose, but look at this. All right, look at this. Can you believe it, folks? You think you got a trap. You think you're going to go eat that rook up, maybe march your king over there, and lo and behold, look at this. There's always hidden resources, folks. I'm telling you, the hidden resources. All right. Anyway, ain't that pretty? All right, so we go back to the game. All right, the old look, folks. I didn't make it up. All right, the old masters in the book, they're pointing it out. Okay, Morphy threatens. Okay, Morphy threatens this shot. Okay, sacking the exchange to win. Basically, when the dust settles, you're winning a pawn. That's the whole point. Okay, you see that? You win that extra pawn. You're up 2 pawns. Forget about it. All right, but now look. Okay, so anyway. The old masters mention that, but they also give Thompson credit, okay? They say that perhaps Morphy should have traded on c6 and gave those two, the pawn weaknesses, okay? Like this. He should have just to go back, okay? All right. Look, I'll show you. I'll show you. Maybe this is what should have been played, okay? You're just trading, like I said, you're trading down or something, all right? Okay. That was what the idea, because here's the thing. When Morphy plays this, when Morphy plays rook to d1, okay, it has that trap, right? But Thompson easily blocks the threat. Rook to e4, all right? They gave Thompson credit. He saw this whole shenanigans, and rook e4 stops it cold, all right? So they were saying maybe Morphy should have traded, you know. He should have traded down on c6. But anyway, look at this. Okay. Well, can he do it now, folks? Can he do it now? Come on, coming up, all right? That's why I'm saying it blocks it, all right? Thompson blocks it. But I'll show you now, look. Morphy takes on c6. All right, he takes the knight. All right, Thompson, sensible. He takes back with the bishop. He's got a tempo on the queen, right? Now, look, folks, again, dummy up. Come on, you can't take like this, all right? You can't take like that. All right, so what does Morphy do? All right, he retreats the queen to c2, all right? It's a good move, all right? It's not under threat anymore, all right? So anyway, okay, he's putting pressure on that rook on e4. Who knows what's coming, right? All right, so get a load of this, all right? So now, Thompson steals the initiative, folks. He starts dictating the game. He plays his bishop, okay? He's got the bishop pair now. He's down a pawn, but he's got the bishop pair. Those bishops can be tough, especially when they're aiming at the king. Look at this. These two bishops are taking aim at the white king side, especially now. Thompson puts that dark square bishop to e5, all right? Bearing down. Look, folks, look how dangerous this could get. Bearing down on the h2, check, right? King over. Look at this, folks. The rook swings into the attack. See how dangerous? One moment you're up a pawn and you're doing fine. Next moment, holy smokes, the tides have turned. Look at this. All right, just to show you now. Look at this. Watch this. Look at this. Here you go. All right? Just throw in some dumb a-pawn moves just to show how this can turn out. All right? Look at this, folks. You got to discover check. Look at this. A discover check. The rook on h4 checks the white king. You see it? You see it right here? What the king's got to do, right? He's got to move. Okay, but look at this now. Where do you move? It's like a free move for this bishop. He could go here. He could go there. He could go there. He could go anywhere on this diagonal, right? But lo and behold, folks, did you see the best move? Kamikaze, bishop to G1 check. Holy smokes. Did he lose his mind? Look at this. You take. Folks, he just cleared the way for the queen. Let the lady in. It's game over. Checkmate on H2. Can you believe it? You see these patterns, folks? These are the ones you got to know, all right? But believe me, after Morphy, oh, boy, after 300. Folks, this is game 2. After 300 of Morphy's games, forget about it. It's going to be, you could do it blindfolded, all right? Which, Morphy does the whole chapter in this book blindfolded. It's going to make your head spin. All right, but anyway, I got to get back to the game, right? All right, this is what could be. This is what could happen, all right? If I throw in some dumb pawn moves over there just to show you the threat. All right, so now what does Morphy do? Come on, give him credit. He blocks this with G3, all right? He blocks that bishop. The dark square battery, folks, that's the name of it, too. I want to show you. That's a battery. See that? When you got the bishop and queen on the same diagonal, dark square battery. All right, I put a charge in your game. All right, so but Morphy blunts it, all right, with G3. Okay, all right, now get this. All right, now check this out, all right? If you just let me throw this move in just to show you, all right, so I can move the white pieces. Now, look, Morphy would love to take this white bishop, the light square bishop of Thompson now, all right? Because if you notice the G3 move, folks, look at these. Look at this bishop. Okay. Whoops. Sorry. Look at this. Look at this bishop bearing down. Look at this bishop bearing down on the light square. See that light square weakness, folks? After the pawn pushes to G3, look, F3, G2, H3. Look at these light squares. They're weak, folks. They're weak. All right. That could be dangerous. While you take care of the dark square battery, you just opened up your light square weakness, all right? All right, so Morphy would love to take that bishop off, okay? But it's Thompson's move, okay? So what does he do? What does he do? He takes the knight. Of course, he takes the knight. All right, if you had to pick between the two bishops now, you want the light square bishop, okay? All right, and again, the masters point out in the notes, folks, if you take like this, you're pretty much you're looking at a draw. Because you see black's got the light square bishop and white's got the dark square bishop, okay? Light square, they have different color bishops. If you trade off the other pieces and you end up with an end game of opposite color bishops, forget it. Most statistically drawn end games, all right? So, anyway, they're saying Morphy, all right? Smart on his part. This is what he does. He takes with the pawn, ladies and gentlemen. He takes with the pawn. Now, look at this, folks. Dynamic chess, all right? You want to learn the tactics. You want to learn the attacks. You want to get your pieces to good squares. You want to get them out quick. You want quick opening moves. You want to get your pieces out there quick. You want to have tactics, attacks. You want to have dynamic chess, folks. Dynamics. And you have a pass pawn now. Pass pawns are dynamic, folks. What's a pass pawn? Look at this, folks. There's no black pawn on the E file. There's no black pawn on the C file. There's no black pawn on the D file. This pawn on D4, it's got daylight, baby. It's got 4 moves to a touchdown. It's coming to D8 to try the queen. And every single move, you have to calculate it. You got to babysit it. You got to watch it. You got to make sure this pawn could be trouble for Thompson. This pawn could come down and become a queen and forget it. It'd be game over. All right? So every move you got to watch, folks. It's dynamic chess. You watch this game now. Everything's going to revolve around this pass pawn, all right? Pass pawn. All right, here we go. I'm trying to give it all to you. All the knowledge, folks, contained in this book. I know this is a tough task. None of these other masters are doing it. None of these grandmasters are trying to tackle it. I'm here in no man's land on the internet. I'm on the fringe, folks. I'm in the corners, in the darkness. I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to give you. Maybe you stumbled onto this website. Let me tell you, these little gems of games. I'm going to show you Morphy. Before you know it, you'll absorb it all. You'll be going to the tournaments. You'll be the local hero. You'll be knocking people out. They'll be wondering, what did you do? What medicines did you take? What vitamins do you drink? What did you do? What did you do, kiddo? And you just tell him, Morphy scapes the chess, baby! All right, so here we go. All right, so now what was I saying? Know your dynamic chess. Pass pawns, right? All right, so here we go. Look at the threat, folks. Look at the threat already. Pass pawns, right? Let's say Thompson just fell asleep and he dragged he dragged his king over there and he fell asleep, right? All right, oh boy. Look at what's threatened, folks. Look at what's threatened. Pass pawns are meant to be pushed, baby. Look at this. Folks, what are you going to do? The bishop, okay, the bishop's moving. Look at this. You hung your queen, all right? All right, we could see that one, right? Did you also see this? Look, the rook's hanging now, the pawn. You undermine the defense of the bishop for the rook over there. Now you hang you would hang the rook on e4. The queen takes, right? All right. So what does Thompson do? Come on, he didn't fall asleep. He's probably biting his nails right now, okay? He's down a pawn. He's trying to hang in there. Oh, no, a passed pawn. How do I handle this? All right, he does a sensible thing, okay? He gets out of that potential, pin there on the bishop. He would have lost the bishop. Okay, so what does he do? He swings it to e7. He protects the rook. He backs up that rook on e4, all right? What does Morphy do, folks? Like I said, past pawns are meant to be pushed, baby. Here we go, d5, attacking that bishop. All right, Thompson swings the bishop to d7, all right? All right, now that bishop's going to be the babysitter, folks. He's got to block the d file for that pawn that's coming down. All right, here we go, folks. What does Morphy do? Get a load of this. All right, he gets aggressive. He swings the bishop to c5, attacking that queen. All right, he's trying to undermine the defense of the rook on e4, all right? Queen moves off the file, forget it. You drop the rook. All right, so he can't do that. But Thompson comes up with a nice move. Here he goes. He's swinging. All right, you're swinging. I'm swinging at you. Come on, let's toe-to-toe. Come on, let's go blow for blow, toe-to-toe. Come on, Thompson. Swings the rook to c8. Come on, Morphy, let's go. All right, so he pins the bishop. Look at this. Now they're gonna trade queens or what? What are you gonna do, folks? What would you do? All right, here we go. Morphy goes in for it. He goes in for it. All right, let's get the queens off. All right, here we go. Now look at this. They trade the queens. All right, and now if you notice, this rook of Thompson on c2 over here, he's attacking the b2 pawn. All right, he's attacking this pawn. All right, so what else is going on? Look, oh no, the bishop's hanging because the rook on e4 could come back and take it. All right, so Morphy's got two pieces hanging. What does he do, folks? What does he do? All right, don't panic. All right, sensible, easy enough to find, right? Pull the bishop back and protect the b2 pawn. All right, there you go. All right, so now what do we do, folks? What are we going to do? All right, I'll show you. The rook on c2 now for Thompson. That's where you want to bring your rooks, folks, into the enemy position on the 7th rank, all right? You attack the pawns from the sides, okay? A rook on the 7th, okay? Wrecking havoc, okay? That's dangerous, okay? So now, all right, Thompson's down a pawn, but he's got good piece action, baby, all right? So it's going to be hard to prove, all right? A lot of things going on here. All right, so he's in this. He's still in this game. Now, the old masters, folks, get a load of this one. They point out this beautiful combination of moves. Look at this. They recommend for Thompson, bishop to g4, all right? Bishop g4. All right, so now you're looking at that. You're saying, wait a minute. Don't I just get the pawn fork? Don't I get the pawn fork, folks? I'm going to win. Hey, I'm going to win a piece, right? All right, game over, right? Yeah, it is going to be game over because when you take the bishop, look at this, folks. Check. Look at this. Rook swinging there. The rook, double rooks on the 7th. Hogs on the 7th, folks. That's what they call them. Hogs on the 7th. Checkmate. Look at this. I told you, rooks on the 7th wreak havoc in the enemy position. All right. You can't take it, folks. You can't play f3 and fork those two pieces because you're not going to win anything. All right? You're not going to do it. You can't do it. All right, so what looks like the obvious turns into the nightmare. All right, you take your look at this, look at that instant replay, look at that, checkmate. All right, ain't that nice? All right, I do it every time, folks. As black, I do it every time. Here, take my piece. All right, I'll just get checkmate. All right, so now where do we go with this? All right, so f3 is no move. You can't do it. All right, so the bishop coming to g4 is attacking the rook on d1, right? All right, so look at this. The rook, let's say you want to trade. Come on, let's trade this rook. I don't like that rook on c2. Very dangerous. All right. I don't think so. Black would swing it to d2, all right? Attacking this pawn, all right? The passed pawn, that's your bread and butter as white, all right? But what you want to do with those rooks, you want to get behind the enemy pawns, all right? That's where they're vulnerable. You hit them from behind, folks, okay? Basically, this is gonna turn into a draw because, look, if you pull it like this, okay. This guy protects the pawn from going up. Basically, you try to get him off that file, no can do, all right? So there you go. It's basically going to be a draw. It's complicated, but hey, all right, the masters wrote it down, and white would throw it away. Okay, you can not that he throw it away, but that's why this is black's best. Excuse me. That's why this is black's best move, all right? Because he undermines this pawn, all right? He undermines it. Okay. So anyway, let's say white doesn't move to try to trade with this rook, but tries to trade with this rook, right? Okay. So now get a load of this, all right? Same as before, folks. Rook to d4. Rook's behind the enemy pawn, right? No different, right? No different. All right, so you push, all right, you block or something, okay? You get the same scenarios, all right? No different, okay? Black hangs in there. All right, so now get a load. We got one more, folks. We got one more. Watch this one. This takes the cake, all right? Here we go. Watch this now. All right, say he says, all right, I don't want to even move, because then I'm not going to move this rook, because then you can undermine my pawn. The rook gets behind. The enemy rook gets behind my pawn. I don't want that. Let me do something crazy. I'm going to bring my other rook over here, right? If you take me over here, I'm going to take, now look, I'm not going to take that. I just lose the exchange, all right? I'm going to take back the other rook. So we go rook for rook, right? Fancy way of trading rooks. All right, but get a load of this, folks. Did you see it? Light square weakness, folks. Bishop to f3. Look at this, folks. Okay, what's going to happen? Now, look, you're attacking the rook, right? But do you see it, folks? Let's say you do a dumb thing like this. You attack the bishop, right, just to be stupid. All right, did you see it, folks? Light square weakness. Rook to c1 is made. Can you believe it, folks? Look, you can't come up. You can't do nothing. Light square weakness, folks. Look, light square weakness. Did you see it? Like we said, look, the light squares, the bishop's in the holes, right? Filling in the gaps. All right, but look, okay. Obviously, your kids out there, you're probably throwing your popcorn and peanuts at the screen going, hey, don't attack the bishop. Just pull back the rook. You save your rook, and you protect the back rank, right? All right, but look, folks, you just dropped the pawn, right? You just dropped the bread and butter, the whole position. All right, so look how quick the tides have turned, right? I mean, probably a draw. You got bishops of opposite color, like I said. And, you know, hey, it's a game, but it's probably drawn. I mean, if anything, black's got the more aggressive post piece, right? Look at that rook. Look at that rook over there on c2. All right. Anyway, folks, this is the old masters pointing it out. I'm not making it up, all right? The move was bishop to g4, all right? That was Thompson's chance. All right, so anyway, what does Thompson do? All right, Thompson plays this, okay? Not a bad move. I mean, all right, it's a game. Pawn to b5, right? Now, he's got to, just to show you, he's thinking of trying to trap this bishop. See that? The bishop's got no room to go, nowhere to go, all right? So Thompson's trying to smoke him out. He's trying to smoke him out with this b5. If the bishop moves, then the rook on c2 can start gobbling those pawns on b2 and a2 and et cetera, right? All right, so what happens now? All right, so look at this. So Morphy figures, all right, let me try to swing my rook here and trade these rooks. I'll get my rook. We trade right here. Now I got my rook on the open E file. That's very good. Could swing it down into the enemy position, onto the 7th rank, okay? Just like Thompson did. That rook is on C2, right? Into the enemy position. All right, so anyway, get a load of this. Watch this now. This is something. Thompson doesn't trade. He knows not to trade. What does he do? All right, look at this. he plays f5. He protects the rook, all right? He protects it with the pawn. And I think this is a double. He's trying to do two things at once. Because if you haven't noticed, folks, look. This bishop still over here controls this diagonal. You see that? Now, Thompson's probably getting nervous with that passed pawn on the board. It's going to come up. He'd like to relieve his babysitter, that bishop on d7. He'd like to get his king. Okay, he moves the pawn to create an escape hatch, all right? So he could walk, just to show you, so he could walk his king. Maybe that's what he was thinking. He's killing two birds with one stone. He protects the rook, and he also creates an out for his king to maybe get over here, you know? And then the bishop could swing. Maybe the bishop could swing onto these light square weaknesses on the king side, right? On the white king side. All right, but get this, all right? That's what happens, right? So he throws up the f5 pawn, and Morphy doesn't take, all right? He doesn't want to do that. Look, he tempts Thompson. Come on, let's trade. Let's trade. He attacks the rook on e4 with that pawn, that measly pawn on f3, right? All right, Thompson takes. He takes the bait. Now Morphy's got that rook on the open e file. All right, so look at this now. Here we go. What does Thompson do? What does Thompson do, folks? Like we said, that rule, right? Rooks behind pawns. All right, he attacks the pawn. All right, and what does Morphy do? All right, Morphy pushes it up. It's the only way to save it. I mean, come on, folks. What are you going to do? Something like this? This is ridiculous. The rook, he's going to babysit that pawn now. All right, so he gets it one move closer, folks. The pawn's coming down. He's got two moves, baby. Two moves, all right, to touchdown on d8. So he protects the pawn. He pushes it up, all right? So now, unbelievable, right? Look at this now. The rook moved to d2, attacking the pawn. Morphy pushes it up. Here comes Thompson with a5, right? He's one move away to trapping that bishop, right? But lo and behold, did you notice, folks, now that the rook went from c2 to d2 to attack the white d pawn, now Morphy's got the c5 square. And he runs to c5. Can you believe this? I'll tell you, folks, the end game is something else. You know, as the pieces disappear and there's less and less pieces, it's almost as if the game gets more and more complicated. You know, the game of chess. Is it a wonder we're still playing this game? We still haven't figured it out, right? I love this game, folks. I love it. It's like multiple games in one, you know? You got your end games and your middle game strategies. All right, so here we go. The bishop slips out, right? He weasels his way out of it. Now look at this. I'm sure you can't help but say, like, okay, what's going on? Look at this. He just hung his b2 pawn, right? He just hung the b2 pawn, all right? Now this didn't happen. Thompson knew not to take the bait, all right? Because I'll tell you, this is going to make you flip. I fell off my seat. All right, here's what I'm playing Shredder, right? I'm testing these positions out. I said, well, why can't he just take the b2 pawn? All right, here you go. You swing the rook down, you attack that babysitting bishop, right? All right, so the bishop. Now, here's the thing. Here's the mistake that Thompson made, okay? With this f5 move, look, he takes the options away from the bishop. He can't swing it over here. He can't get by. Look, he can't come here. He can't come back. Rook takes check. He can't go here because then rook e8 check, and then you take the bishop, right? He only has this square, folks. Where's he going to go? This is it. He can only go to c6, okay? All right, so you attack the babysitter again. You go after him, all right? You go after that bishop. Okay, now look, folks, can the bishop take? Can the bishop take on f3? I mean, come on. He's the babysitter, right? Pawn push, baby! One move to touchdown. All right, but that's no problem, right? Because you could swing the rook and you stop it on d8. Folks, you got the check. Folks, you got the check. And after the check, you queen. You see that? You got that in-between check. All right, there you go. You won the rook. Forget about it. It's over. Game over, all right? So you can't just go in with the pawn, like taking on f3 with the bishop, right? You can't grab a pawn. All right, so let's do the sensible thing. He's got to babysit this pawn from going to d7, so the only spot he could do He can only protect that D7 square from E8. So he swings the bishop back, right? All right, now don't get ahead of yourself in the attack. Oh, look, it's pinned because obviously, look, the obvious move, right? Sometimes we miss those. You get excited, you move quick. That's why I say if you think you see a good move, always look for another one, all right? Okay, so now, look at this. Watch this. Obviously, I know a lot of you are probably saying, now you got the bishop trapped. Just get ready, get that bishop, okay? He's not going to move it now because then you go in with a queen, all right? So he'd have to sack it, okay? He'd sack it, but look, folks, then he gets this pawn, you know, and you got those 2 pawns. Now, I believe this is still a win for white, but look, you got better. You got better, folks. Watch this. Watch this. This is going to knock you for a loop. Look at this. The bishop goes back. Okay, now look at this move. Shredder, I'm not taking credit. Shredder, unleash this. Look at this. Bishop to D4, attacking that rook on B2, right? All right, you attack me, I'll attack you. I'll hit you twice as hard. Look at this. You will go after the bishop, right? All right, so you got this in-between move, check. King over, right? Look at this, folks. Pass pawns are meant to be pushed. Look at this. D7 now. Can you believe this? Now, look, wait a minute, folks. Now, look. All right. You just hung your bishop, right? You just hung your bishop. But, folks, did you see the move? The move on the board. Can you see it, folks? Tactics. Get a load of this. Rook to G8 check. Did you see it, folks? I can't believe it. I fell off my seat. Look at this now. Folks, if he moves up, it's going to be, look, queen. It's going to be mate 1, folks. Can you believe it? Holy smokes. Now, look, okay, obviously, all right, you take the rook, right? Look at this, folks, you take the rook. All right, you go in, queen, baby. Check, all right, if he moves up, look, you check him. You get him on those dark squares, right, folks? Queen to F6, queen fork. King moves, you take it. The rook goes in the box. You take the rook goes in the box, game over. It's over, folks. Rook goes in the box, game over. Can you believe it, folks? Out of nowhere, the tactics. The tactics in the endgame. Folks, who said the endgame's boring? Wake up from off the couch. Look at this again. I can't believe it. Rook to G8 check. King takes. Pawn, queen, baby. Holy smokes, what a move. What a way to end the game, huh? Okay. All right, let me take a breath. Now, this didn't happen, folks. This is what coulda, shoulda, woulda happened, right, folks? Holy smokes. I can't breathe. I can't believe it. You know? Oh, imagine. I'll tell you what. If I played a tournament and I lost 6 games, right? And this was my last round and I did this, I tell you, I'd walk away like I felt like I won the money. You know, I felt like I won the money, folks. What a move. Can you give me the brilliancy prize, all right? I'll take it. I'll take the brilliancy prize for that one. All right. Anyway, you finished with 1 win in the whole tournament. I'll tell you to be worth the trip. All right, anyway, here we go. Now, look, all right. So, you see, folks, it's in the notes, folks. Now, I don't know. Did Thompson and Morphy, did they see all this? I don't know, perhaps. I'll tell you what. Thompson didn't take. You get what I'm saying? He didn't take. I mean, I guess he saw something. He didn't like it. Maybe just through experience, doesn't feel like the right move. Okay? So what does he do, folks? What does he do? Look at this. Okay. He plays B4. I don't know. Maybe he's thinking just to throw in a move. Maybe he's just creating another square for that, Maybe he's getting that pawn up the board a little closer, hoping to, maybe make something of it. Who knows, right? I don't know what they were thinking. I can't get in their head, but anyway, he plays B4, right? And then, I remember this. I said, you know what? If you look at it now, maybe if the rook could get here now, he'd have to abandon that pawn. Maybe he's trying to do something like this. He'll swing the rook up, and then now the bishop has to abandon that pawn, and he loses the pawn, right? He'd win the pawn. Maybe that was the tactical idea, He saw something like this. He plays B4. He takes the room for the bishop. All right, Morphy's bishop on C5. All right, who knows? All right. So anyway, what does Morphy do, folks? All right, sensible move. All right, aggressive. Be aggressive, baby. Rook to E7 to the 7th rank, okay? Attacking the babysitter. All right, so now, all right, what is I tell you again, all the nonsense. Forget it. What are you just gonna hang the piece? I'll get these pawns. I mean, come on, folks. You don't go in for this, all right? All right, now look. If the bishop moves, we got all the same ideas, you know. The bishop moves here, you attack it, okay? Now he's got this square, all right? I mean, it gets crazy. Who knows, okay? Without going into all that, it's a whole other game, right? I'm thinking that Thompson is sitting there. He dropped game 1, all right? We're humans, folks. We got to think with the pressure on. We're just... Right now, I'm sitting in my room or I'm doing this, you know. There's no pressure. I'm analyzing with a computer. They had no computers back then, right? I mean, the guy's sitting there. He's sweating. He lost the first game, you know. Here he is. He's losing. Maybe he feels he's losing. You know, that pawn's getting awfully close on the D file. Let's just go into rook and pawn endgames. Let's get rid of these bishops. Thompson swings his rook up to D5, attacking the white bishop. All right, Morphy. You take my bishop, I'll take yours. We're going to the queen and we're going to the rook and pawn endgames. They're the hardest to prove, right? I'll probably be able to hang in there, get the draw, and I'll get the white pieces next round, and maybe I'll have some good luck in that one. I'll tie this up 1-1, right? Because again, the way this tournament was, draws didn't count for anything. They didn't even count for half points. None of that nonsense, all right? Like I said, they wanted blood spilled back then, all right? It was all or nothing. You win. You play this game to win, folks, okay? All right, so here we go. This is Thompson. Let's go into the rook and pawn endgame. All right. Morphy figures, yeah, why not? But first, I'm going to take your pawn, Thompson. So, Morphy, little in-between move, huh? Sometimes those are the hardest to see. You get ahead of yourself, folks, and look at this. Thompson drops a pawn. Oh, man, come on, with no luck now. Look at this. Now they trade the bishops. Okay. Morphy wins another pawn. Now he's up 2 pawns, folks. All right, okay. So now he's up 2 pawns, our hero, right? All right, so what does Thompson do now? Oh, man, I'll tell you. All right, so after that, after they trade, you know, they exchange bishops like this, okay? Here comes Thompson's king. All right, I got to get over to that pawn. All right, here he comes. He's marching over, right? Now he feels he gets one more move. I mean, this pawn on D6 looks like a dead duck, right? Because he's going to get the king over there, and he's got his rook on it. The white king's awfully far. He'll probably get that pawn, right? So what does Morphy do, folks? How does he save this pawn? What does he do? All right, I'm going to show you. Rook to B7. Go ahead, Thompson, take my pawn. I don't give a damn. Yeah, can you get it, folks? Look, don't you see it? If you take that one, Morphy takes B4. It's like Christmas time, you know. You're in the spirit of giving, right? You give a pawn, you take a pawn, all right? You give and you receive. So anyway, Thompson sees this. He goes, holy smokes! Because look, in this scenario, folks, White's got 2. Now he's got 2 passed pawns. Nothing stopping these 2 pawns on the queen side. Look, they're side by side. They'll march down the board, holding hands. All right, to protect one another. Oh, this will be something else. All right. So Thompson's sweating now. He's like, holy smokes! I can't just take that pawn. All right. Morphy's going to take my B4 pawn. He's attacking it. All right. I'll tell you what. I'll swing my rook here. And I'll protect the B pawn for now, and I'm try to get my king over, figure out what to do. Maybe he's got to push G5 first, you know, and then move the king over and stop that D pawn. All right. So anyway, all right. So now what happens? All right. So here comes the white king, baby. The king's an attacking piece in the end game. Here it comes. It's drawing its sword, and it's got its sight on the black rook on D4. Holy smokes, what's going on? All right, look, folks, if you don't notice, let's say, because look, if the king moves over, you know, he drops this pawn, all right? So let's say he throws something like, whoops, let me take that back. Let's say you can't move the king. Let's just say, right, hypothetically, he plays something like this. Folks, look at this. The king's coming up. He's coming after that rook. And look, folks, the rook's got to protect that B4 pawn, right? the only way to do it's there. And look, rook, king over to d3, attacking the rook again, folks. Where's it going to go? Where's it going to go? Look at those white pawns covering all those 4 squares. Look, 2 pawns covering those 4 squares. See that? He can't go anywhere, folks. So, oh boy. So look at this, folks. Look at this. There's no g5. Thompson sees it. He says, I can't even hang on to that pawn. I cannot even hang on to the pawn. Now look at this. Here's another line. The old masters, folks, they're coming to the rescue with another pretty line, all right, worth mentioning, okay? This one's gonna be good to memorize. It'll save many games, get you many wins. Look at this. Okay? Here it comes. Look. What if he tries to check, all right? King up, attacking that rook. And what if he takes the B pawn over here and he tries to guard that B4 pawn from the front, right? All right, look at this. Did you see it, folks? That's a losing move, all right? Losing idea. Did you see the move for white? All right? Look at this, folks. Rook down check. King's got nowhere to go but up. Look, he can't come here, folks. The pawn covers that E7 square. He can't do it illegal, right? He's got to go to F7. Pawn push, baby. And one more move, and it's in for a touchdown. Look at it. There's no stopping it. Queen, baby. And white would win, right? Now, get a load of this. You got to remember that, because look at this. If you push, you got here, right, folks? You got to this moment. You fought a hard game, right? What if you push the pawn first? Look at this, folks. Get king over, and it's a draw. You can't queen the pawn, huh? What a disappointment. Can you imagine, folks? You get all the way there. Look at this. I can't believe it. End games, folks. They're crazy. They're crazy, or is it me? Look. Pawn up, draw. Rook, check, win, baby. Look at this. I'll tell you, it's amazing, right? Just the squares, the moves. One move wins, one move loses. They're so close, right? So many things. Folks, the game of chess. I love this game, huh? You got to love it, huh? You got to love it. All right, so anyway, the old masters, they show this, right? So there's no hope for Thompson. He can't hang on to this pawn in any way on b4. He can't hold it, right? So what does he do? All right, he goes in. All right, Morphy, you got me. You got me. Now I'm really behind the 8 ball. All right, so I take your pawn. You take mine. All right, what am I going to do? All right, so here we go, folks. Here we go. We're approaching the very end of the game. All right, Thompson now down 2 pawns on the queen side over there. Oh, boy. Here they come, all right? Here they're going to march down the board. Look where that black king is. Thompson's got to keep that rook active. All right, he feels. Here he comes. Rook check. King up, right? King up. All right, he takes the pawn on h2. All right, he feels, all right, I got 3 pawns on the king side now. White's only got 2. Maybe I could make a pass pawn. You know, trade all those pawns. And you end up having 1 black pawn left, and you got a pass pawn of your own. Who knows, folks, right? Thompson's got to be trying for something, all right? But lo and behold, folks, it's a million moves away, and Morphy's got the 2 pass pawns ready to march. Here they go. A4, the first one's moving up the board. Holy smokes, what are we going to do? What is Thompson going to do now, okay? We got pawn to A4. All right, so now, here comes the rook. Rook's got to swing over because, folks, if you notice, look at the king. Look at him all the way over there. He can't do nothing. Look at this. He can't catch that pawn. Come on. He can't even go now. Look, you got a force field. You got a force field, folks, with this rook. Look at this rook over here. It's like a force field. It's like a wall. See? He can't even get through. All right? So the king's going to need help. And Thompson swings his rook to help out. Here it comes to C2. All right, he's got to try to stop these pawns with the rook. All right, A5, baby, push that pass pawn. Pass pawns are meant to be pushed. All right, here we go. Thompson attacks that pawn. Now, folks, look at this. What are you going to do? You're going to push it up? No way. Rook's behind pawns. What are you doing, folks? You're blowing it. All right, you can hold it like that, but folks, you got to think. You got to think. It's a better move, baby. You got to find the move. What's the move? What did Morphy do? All right, here it is, folks. Rook to A4 to back up that pass pawn. Now the pawn has backup. He's going to push it with that heavy artillery of the rook on a4. All right, now Thompson's really sweating. He's got to get that king over. The rook's no match alone. Here it comes. The king's going to help the rook. The rook's got to help the king. All right, here we come. B4, baby, a tempo on the rook. All right, the rook's got to swing back. Thompson drops it back to C8 to protect that back rank. All right, here it comes, folks. B5, the pawns are marching up the board. Thompson swings the rook to B8 to try to attack that B5 pawn. All right, the B5 pawn's hanging. Look at this, folks. The pawn moves up to A6. Morphy ignores it. Look at this. The pawn is poisoned. The pawn cannot be taken. Look at this, folks. You can't do it, folks. You can't stop it. Pawns take diagonally. Don't you forget it. Look at this, folks. So what do you do? What do you do? Look at this. The pawn cannot be taken. It's poison, right? All right, so Thompson swings the king over. The king's getting close. Morphy with the pawn. Push the B6. The pawns are holding hands coming down the board. The pawn is still poisoned. You can't take it. Come on, you can't get rooks behind the pawns. You got the heavy artillery. Come on, dummy up, folks. You can't take the pawn. The pawn is poisoned, right? So after Morphy pushes B6, what's Thompson do? He swings the king up. The king's in striking distance, but Morphy got to move. He pushes the pawn up. All right, the B pawn's safe. The B pawn is safe from attack. Here comes Thompson trying to get the king over. King to B6. All right, he's trying to, if you do something stupid, he's trying to get a blockade going. Look at this. He's got a fortress, folks. No, King, don't do that. Don't move your king. Morphy's got to move. He's got to move, and he's got the pawn push, baby. A7, look at this. There's no breather room for Thompson. The rook's smothered on the back rank. All right, Thompson's trying to gain time. He swings the rook out as a check. Check move. Check is on the board. What does Morphy do? He dodges it. He dodges it. King F4. He gets out of the checks, folks. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's no more checks after this. Look, you just swing the king up, attacking that rook. Come on, it's over. Game over. There's nowhere to go. You can't keep checking the king, all right? So once Morphy dodges the check, once he dodges in the safety zone. All right, so what does Thompson do? Holy smokes, look at this, folks. He's got a king. He's got the pawn with the king. It's denied on the 1-yard line. Look at this. Okay, what does Morphy do? Holy smokes, he's got a pawn. Thompson's got the rook, and now the king protecting A8. But look at this. Morphy throws it up in the air. Can you believe it? He queens. He queens, all right. Look at this. Thompson trades. They trade on A8. Holy smokes, have I lost my mind? I'm losing my voice. Holy smokes, and the victory music's playing. Look at Morphy. Look at Morphy on F4. He takes the F5 pawn, folks. The black pawns are doomed. The black pawns are doomed. And it's game 2 in the bag for Morphy. He goes up 2-zip. As the black king on A8 is picking dandelions in left field. Look at this. Folks, you got to stay tuned. We got more coming. 298 to go. We're only down to 2 games. Look at all these vicious moves. The board's catching fire, folks. I got to go buy myself a new board. All right, the victory music comes back in. I got to answer that. It's probably my wife. All right, good night, folks. Good night.